Hello, all. Welcome back. It's really good to see you guys again. Today was a very busy day. I'm sure it probably was for you all as well, but if not, I hope you spent it relaxing. Um, I pray you spent it doing what you love, a little bit of something for you, not so much for everyone else. But today, I just wanted to touch base with you guys and remind you all, speak to you all about the compassion that we have in nursing and that we shouldn't lose that compassion. It can be very easy going through the day to day, taking care of patients, um, dealing with what's needed from management and leadership, making sure that you're crossing every T and dotting every I. It can be a lot to do. For whether it's an 8 hour shift, it's a 12-hour shift, it can be a lot. And even that person with the best time management, all it takes is one adverse event. It just takes one thing to totally throw your day off, derail things, as it were. And it can be really easy to lose the compassion that we're supposed to have for our patients. And honestly, the compassion is not just for our patients, but for our colleagues as well. And compassion is just acknowledging and having awareness for the sufferings of others. And sometimes it's almost like if you yourself haven't been a patient, it can be very easy to forget and know what that looks like. It can be really easy to be flippant, to not really listen to what your patient is saying. It's almost as if you haven't been on that other side. You almost don't necessarily know how to approach it because you haven't been in those shoes. I will say, I actually had surgery once, and I ended up staying in the hospital for a couple of days. And I remember when I came out of surgery, I was in the PACU and I had been intubated. So my throat was really scratchy and raw, and I was unable to speak. But I remember trying to express what I needed to express to the PACU nurse. Now, mind you, the PACU nurse didn't know I was a nurse. I'm one of these people that when I go to the hospital, if I'm caring for a loved one, I'm visiting someone, I don't let the staff know who I am. I just am aware of what's going on. But being in the PACU myself, coming out of surgery, I'm trying to convey to the nurse that I just really wasn't feeling well and trying to see if I can get a little water, even if it was ice chips, if it was a swab that they can put in my mouth. And I remember I'm trying to get her attention, and she's one of these nurses went, okay, dear, okay, we're gonna get you all settled. And I tap her. And I of course I can't say it, but I'm trying to mouth the words. She said, what is it? And I I did what I often do for my patients who can't verbalize what's going on. Sometimes I'll have a little eraser board, a little whiteboard, and an erasable marker. And I give it to them and they can write what it is they're trying to say. And I looked at her and I tried to mime, like, can I write down what is needed? And if you can see the way she rolled her eyes at me, like, and totally ignored me. Totally ignored me. Like what I said meant absolutely nothing. And I I remember in that moment how upset I was. I could not wait to get out of there. I was like, when I'm being discharged, I'm coming back here and I'm talking to her. I was like, I'm getting her name. I want to make sure. And it wasn't even a name to be able to report her. It was a name so that she and I could have a conversation. I couldn't tell you how upset I was by that. And I was like, you know what? I know I'm not the only person she's done this to. And I know I'm not the only person who feel that their very simple requests totally go unheard and unanswered. I understand that it can be very overwhelming just to get through the day. But I'm hoping that we can put ourselves in our patient's shoes for a moment and imagine what it's like to be scared, to be facing a diagnosis that might not have a cure, to be facing surgery and illness without the support necessary to get through something like that. I think sometimes we take for granted support systems. And we all know there are a number of our patients who don't have one. They don't have a village. I was just speaking with someone today, and he was just explaining how he was in a really bad space, and he attempted to unalive himself. And he spoke about his village, how they rallied behind him, how they lifted him up when he didn't have the strength to do himself. He was like, there were times I did not want to live. It was their will for me to live that I was riding on. He said, until I could find that will myself. And I had to tell him, I'm thankful that you had a village. But imagine our patients who don't. That we are that support system. We sometimes are the core of that support system. Sometimes we spend more time with them than anyone else in the care team. And we know that. We know the impact we have on our patients. We know just how much we mean to them. That at the end of the shift, what's their first question? Are you back? Am I going to see you again tomorrow? And you say, yep, we're going to have another good day. And just to see them light up and to see the relief on their face when they know they have you taking care of them. I know it can be really easy to get caught up in everything that's going on, that we really don't show the compassion that we can to our patients. I want to invite you to look at it a little differently. Look at it as what would that look like if that was me lying there in that bed? I can't even necessarily say what would that look like if that was a family member, because everybody doesn't necessarily have a good relationship with their family. So I wouldn't want to necessarily say that. But I want you to think about the person that you love the most and the care you'd want them to get. And trust me, I understand that you can't pour from an empty cup. So there has to be a way that you yourself are filling yourself so that you are able to give of yourself throughout a shift. There's no other way it can be done. And I find that maybe that's the issue. Maybe the fact of the matter is we're being asked to pour from an empty cup. And we can't. It's just not possible. It's just like any bank account. We can't continue to make withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal, and there are no deposits. After a while, you will be overdrawn. And you can't continue to run on fumes. Our bodies, our minds, our psyches are very forgiving. They allow us to run even when we aren't doing the best by them, even when we're mistreating our bodies, when we're not taking care of ourselves, when we're not getting enough sleep, when we're not eating the best that we could and we should. Our bodies are very forgiving. But there comes a time when your body is like, I need you. Help me help you. I need you to help me. And I'm thinking that's part of it. Maybe the lack of compassion that I see and that's evident now is because we're trying to pour from an empty vessel and from an empty cup. I invite you to take some time to be poured into. And what does that look like for you? How do you want to pour into yourself? Is it by going to see a show? Is it by going to hear some live music? Is it just by taking some time to have a spa day? How can you carve out some time so that you are allowed to be poured into? You have to. Our jobs are way too demanding for us not to be poured into. Our jobs require way too much of us for us to show up empty. We can't. You're doing yourself a disservice. And you deserve better than that. Your patients deserve better than that. But even if you can't do it for your patients, do it for you because you deserve it. You are that nurse. You are that amazing nurse that shows up every day, saves lives every day. And it might not necessarily be what you would consider life or death, but you have the ability to speak life into your patient. You have the ability to speak death to every negative comment, every negative thought. You really do have the ability to put your patient on track to health, healing, and recovery. So before you give any of that to your patient, I want you to give you the gift of giving that to yourself. Give yourself that gift. You're worth it. You deserve it. So take care of yourselves. Think about what it is you can do to pour into you or to have yourself poured into. And take some time to be able to see that brought to fruition. Okay, guys, until next time, be well, take care of yourselves because you're worth it and you deserve it.